So I want to dive into the kind of pros and cons of the travel you do. So for you, you've lived many places. I think you've got a current base in Japan, in Andorra, in Korea. How much has your traveling been to optimize your lifestyle, and how much has been to focus on work or work-related projects?
The reason why I started traveling in the first place, it is because in 2012, the Spanish government closed the market. So you could not compete against everyone around the world. So they created PokerStars.es platform, and they also the tax authorities in Spain at the time, they were unfairly pursuing actions against poker players, asking them for way more money than what they ever made, because they didn't understand the difference between gross and net income. So they thought, okay, this guy have this Random Mob website. It says you want millions. Where are the millions? And their millions were not there, because those were gross profits, not net profits. So a lot of people got their life ruined by that. But by that stupidity, and I learned that I could not trust my government at that time, because if that stupidity was allowed to happen. So for me, going to new countries as a professional poker player, poker was the key of the freedom for me. Going to new countries was the option I could take to remove myself from my country, so I would not have any issue making money. So first I traveled to the UK. I spent a year there making the Supernova Elite with the friend I was living with. He told me Thailand was great. He had a great experience living in Thailand. So we moved to Thailand together with another friend. And then I moved to the Philippines. I met a Korean girl. I moved with her later on to Australia before they closed the market too. Macau, live poker, Japan. I heard this site called Bodog. It has great action in 2K. I moved to Canada. I opened a bank account. I play Bodog in Canada for a few months every year. So I started making all these trips and going to different countries. Being completely honest with you, that was not a good decision for performance or for having a good career. Having to travel is a distraction. Having to set up your life in a place is not a good thing. It's a huge distraction. But life was more fun that way. If I had to change, if I wanted to become the number one poker player in the world, would I repeat that? Probably not. But what matters more if tomorrow I go out and a brick falls from a ceiling of a random building and hits my head and I'm dead? What matters the most? The experiences. The experiences I had. So for that reason, I feel those things were a good thing in general for my life. But those are risks you take. You need to make sure you can survive that. You can make enough money to pay for that kind of lifestyle. It was just going with the flow. And I think at the time, I was not thinking too much about this is a performance choice. This is a lifestyle choice. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I was looking for a new home. I felt, okay, Spain is not my country anymore. I know I'm not going to come back to Spain to live. So where do I live? So that was there. So I was actually motivated too by that. I wanted to find a place where I felt, okay, maybe this is the place where I will live. And the first place I felt that, it was Japan.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing part of traveling, trying to figure out where you would like to base yourself if you are looking for a new location, especially when you're young and you can live the traveler lifestyle with a little bit less responsibilities, so to speak. So for you, what about Japan felt like a fit for you? Why do you feel like you gravitated towards Japan?
It's a kind place. Everyone is kind. In Spain, it can happen. It doesn't mean it doesn't need to happen, but it might happen that somebody else, for some random reason, ruins your day, brings negativity in your life, whatever it is. It might happen. These things in Japan just don't happen. It's pretty much impossible. You take a train, it's in silent. There is nobody there screaming. There is not this homeless guy doing some random shit like in the streets of Vancouver. Japan just feels everything is fine, nice. Everything is super clean. Food is delicious. Of course, I know now, because my wife is Japanese, that Japanese culture puts a lot of pressure on Japanese people on how to behave. So there are certain aspects of Japanese culture that maybe I don't fully agree with in a way, but the general style of how this society is built, it works for me, because it's just a place that is kind to me, and I can be left alone and just be super happy about everything. You are not going to see it's very unlikely someone is going to be unkind to you. So that makes this place so nice, and everywhere else you go, you're going to see bad things around you. Like, okay, this country has a homeless problem. This country is very dirty. Or this country, Australia, is way too far from Europe. 30-hour airplanes. Okay, one time, not often, please. So you see the good and the bad side of many places, right? Thailand, Macau, these are good places in some way, bad places in other ways. Japan just has a very good balance. The issue with Japan, it is that coming as a tourist is very expensive, and the longer I was here, particularly in 2020, 2019, prices started to go very high for rent. And there are two markets for renting apartments. One market for the residents, those who have a blue card and are able to work in the country, and those who are just tourists. And I was just a tourist. Basically 85-90% of the market for renting, it was not available for me because I was not a resident. So those who are tourists will have to pay for rent 4K a month for a 60 square meter apartment in Tokyo, which is very expensive. That motivated me to buy a house in Tokyo, so I could come to a place that is mine, fully mine. And I learned that it was actually easy to buy property in Japan, and you could hire a company so they receive your mail, and you don't need to do anything. They manage everything. They put the bank account. You just send money to the bank account, and they manage everything, and everything is fine. And you go through the process of buying a house, and all the system is built for bad things not to happen. You feel transparency. They explain to you. So I have documents about what's behind every wall of my house. Those things don't happen in other countries. So Japanese seek perfection in a way, and maybe it also translates to met expectations in a way.